Hello, and welcome to this episode of the Optimistic Agenda podcast. I am so excited that you're here and so grateful too. So thank you so much whenever you're tuning into this. To say that this podcast has been long overdue is an understatement, because I've had this on my mind for at least a year. And I've been sitting on it for at least 6 months, procrastinating, making up all forms of excuses under the sun, getting my perfectionism involved in this, of, all of the reasons why something I've recorded isn't right, or I've not said the right things, or whatever. So we're breaking that pattern, because the only way to do it is by doing it. Am I right? So here we go. And I want to use this episode to kind of do a little introduction and just let you know, what to expect and all of that going forward, and kind of, just laying out the lay of the land. I feel like I'm saying that wrong. But anyways, just setting out the lay of the land and, kind of just as a little warm-up sort of thing for the rest of the journey. So thank you for being here. And my name is Mosim. I am your host for this podcast. And again, so excited. And initially, I was getting tripped up over, how do I introduce myself? What am I, or who am I? And the thing is, it was so difficult because I didn't want to start putting myself into boxes of, I am a healer, or I'm a coach, or I'm a lawyer, whatever, And so that will come with time. However, because I didn't want to box myself, because it felt very restrictive, because I'm not just one thing, and I didn't want to limit myself to that. So I will tell you why I'm doing this and what it is that I'm doing. And to start off with, the reason for the podcast is to really just allow my thoughts to flow, because they do really well when I'm in conversations with people and I'm like, holy shit, this needs to be shared. And I feel like I get very stuck up when it comes to curating everything and fitting it into like a little Instagram grid or a caption, or which is very limited, or even a 15-second Instagram story, which is also fairly limited. And those are very good for summaries, but not for diving in deep to the extent that I tend to love to do. So this is kind of where I will be going deeper into a lot of different things around, all of my favorite topics, and my journey, and just sharing that with you, kind of almost pretty much unfiltered and stream of consciousness. And eventually I also want to start bringing people on, having a nice little conversation with them, getting them to share, just not even them, just having conversations, making it very informal, and sort of just having them share their journeys and lessons they've learned, and what, just all of those fun things. And a lot of the topics covered will be manifestation, human design, quantum physics, energy and energetics, and my favorite, actually they're all my favorite, but wealth and money. And all of these things are just different, I've used them together, I've used them on their own, and they've completely shifted my life, shifted my thoughts, shifted the way I do things, shifted the way I do life, and the way I approach life, and the way I think about life. And so much more. And I want to share that with you because I want you to realize just how powerful you are, just how much control you actually have, how much of a say you have over everything that is happening in your physical reality. And a lot of these things are not taught to us from a young age, and you may have known them. I was very aware when I was younger, when I was little, and we're kind of conditioned out of knowing these things, by very well-meaning adults, but who were also conditioned by the system. And I want to help you, or at least start, just kind of facilitate this beginning for you of your journey to uncovering and unraveling that, and really just coming back to your core of who you are. And that is where my passion comes in, because I could talk about this the livelong day and never get tired of it, which is also the reason for this podcast, because I get to have these conversations with you and start them up and just share them and get the conversation going, and start creating awareness around these things. And I strongly believe that in sharing our journeys lies the healing for someone else as well to start on their journey. It's almost giving them permission, because I have learned from so many people who were bold enough to share their journeys, their challenges, their struggles, their wins, and what they did, how they got to where they are now, and just everything that they were sharing. And sometimes we tend to feel that we're alone because we don't hear the people around us having these conversations, until we realize that we really aren't. Because while our journeys may be unique to us, our challenges most definitely aren't. It's just the way we're handling them, dealing with them, perceiving them. All of that is very personalized to us, but not the challenge in itself, if that makes sense. So yeah, that's what I want to do here. And I want to help you tap back into yourself and into your innate wisdom to just live and design a life that you are proud of, because again, like I say, these are all the things that I've used. And honestly, while I may not be where I am just yet, I'm most definitely on my way there. All thanks to the healing that I've been doing, and it's been very, very deep healing, because where this journey started was a very dark night of the soul. I don't think I've ever felt worse. I don't think I've ever felt more alone. I don't think I've ever felt so isolated, ever. And I'm an only child. That's saying a lot. And yeah, I was willing at that point to do anything to feel better. And I started just going for meditations and things. And I had a spiritual awakening, and I think I'll do a different episode on this, just covering this in more detail. So definitely drop me a message if you would like me to do that. And love to hear that. That would be something that would interest you. But all of that, once that happened, it was like all of everything that I needed to heal, all my wounds and everything the hurt and everything that I was holding on to just started coming at me very rapidly. And I've literally spent the last pretty much 3 years in deep healing, 2.5, 3 years somewhere. In deep healing, I've done, you name it, and I've done it. I've done sound healing, I've done Reiki, I'm a Reiki master. And, I got my attunements and stuff. I've done theta healing. I've done hypnosis. I have done tapping. I have done literally everything. And all of that put together has really helped me just get to the point where I'm at right now, where I sorry if you hear any noise. I can't control it, so I hope it's not too loud. But yeah, it's been an incredible journey, getting here, and everything that I've learned has gotten me to a point of advocating for myself, because I never used to do that. Just advocating for myself, speaking up for myself, loving myself more, loving myself unconditionally, and just starting to understand how I work and what my strengths are, as opposed to beating myself down for my... Oh, that was loud. Instead of beating myself down about my weaknesses or focusing on those, is focusing on more of what I can control and what I can do, that are my strengths and how I can leverage them. It's just been a complete shift in perspective as well. And these things occur daily. So that's kind of where, I want to be sharing more of. I'll be sharing a lot of that with you, a lot of everything that I've learned in my journey so far, what has helped, what hasn't helped, and yeah, pretty much. And in terms of the podcast, my aim is to get out at least 2 episodes a month, so maybe once every other week. And I'd definitely love to hear from you on what you're most excited for, what you're most looking forward to, what you would love to hear about, if this is something that resonates with you so far. Definitely just slide into my DMs. I'm at The Optimistic Agenda on Instagram. And so you can find me there. I'm pretty much, that's where I am, and very active on there. And yeah, so I think this is a pretty good summary and a place to end. But there's so much more coming, and I'm so excited to start getting this out, regardless of how nervous I might feel, because part of me is just going, oh my God, I need to edit this, and this is just not the right way I've done it, or something needs to be fixed. But we are just moving with it. And we will get better. So, this is very unfiltered, and very raw and real. And for the first time in my life, I'm just like, hey, welcome on this journey with me. And I'm not perfect, and I'm absolutely not sorry about that, because I know I'm going to get better the more I keep doing this. So there we go. I think this is a good place to leave the episode. Again, let me know if something from this resonated with you, what you're most excited for and looking forward to, and if there's any specific topic or something that comes to mind that you would like me to talk about. And yeah, just slide into my DMs. Once again, I'm at The Optimistic Agenda on Instagram, and I hope you enjoyed this episode. And thank you again for joining me. Let me know if you have any questions, subscribe if you haven't already, and share it with a friend who you think would benefit from this. Thank you so much, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!